All right, another week in the books. This one was interesting, started strong, ended wrong. And Monday and Tuesday of this week went pretty well in my opinion. The first day was a lot of volume and a pretty good amount of intensity. I was doing sets of 5 with 190, 2 sets of 5 at 210, before my top sets of 4 at 225 that you're seeing right here, and then a top set of the day on 235 for 4. So this is pretty heavy for me. It's not very often that I do reps of over 500 pounds, and the fact that I was able to do 2 sets and have them move fairly easy, I was really happy about. This particular one with 225 actually moved worse in my opinion than the 235 set you're about to see here. For some reason, my belt just wasn't feeling really right. I was losing a little bit of weight this week, still maintaining around 232 on most days, most average. But because my belt was a little bit looser, it just threw off my bracing just a little bit, which was something I was trying to work on. After talking with Brett, he really wanted me to work on my breathing this week. He said I'm doing a good job, but he thought I could get more air in. So I tried to do that, and I really tried to reset after each rep, and it just wasn't something I was used to, but I think the proof is in the pudding in this case because, again, the reps all moved really well and really happy with that top set at 235. From there, back off work of deadlifts, 5 sets of 3 with 200. These flew up, felt really good, so nothing much to say here. Really trying to make sure I get my lockout done on this point because later in the week, my lockout can get kind of soft, even though I am really trying to make sure that I squeeze. I just know when I'm dealing with heavy weights and rep work, my lockout sometimes gets a little soft. So from there, moved on to bench day the next day, working with these monolift attachments. I made a video about it. That's one of the reasons I'm also using them, trying to get more comfortable with them. Really trying to work on my arch, and it's just not going well. And I'll talk about this more in my second bench day of the week. But this was one of my top sets of 5 for an RP 8, in which I used 125. So I didn't really bump the weight up from last week because I really wanted to try to work on my arch some. From there, did some pin presses. This is my top single. I've been at 140 the past couple weeks, but I think it moved really well today before doing some back off work that I'm just not really going to show you because I really am not in love with my bench right now. From there, for the deadlift portion of the week, had a top set of 4 at RPE 8. Brett told me to skip this if I was feeling beat up because the last 2 weeks I was pretty fatigued from the work in the week and then also putting together all the rack and equipment stuff. But surprisingly, I felt really good this week, even after those heavy squat sessions on Monday. So I wanted to push it here to 255. This is 5 kilos more than last week, and I was on the struggle bus. It was a real kick in the balls because I felt so good and things just didn't move well. From there, I had some volume work, 4 sets of 5 at what was supposed to be 230 kilograms, but in my fatigued state, misloaded with 225, and it moved really well, and that's probably why. So the silver lining is the back off work moved phenomenal, felt really good, considering how bad that first top set went. The bad news is also 5 kilograms or 11 pounds lighter than it should have been, so that could have explained why. But we'll see how things go next week. And deadlifts, along with bench, has just not been feeling great. So luckily enough, squats have been feeling good. That's the saving grace for me. From there, speaking of squats feeling good, had some beltless work, 3 sets of 6 with 180, which is almost 400 pounds. And again, I was really surprised how well this moved and how well these beltless squats have been moving, even considering the fact that we've been pushing the deadlift numbers a little bit on this particular day, as well as the heavier squat work earlier in the week. So really happy with squats. Now, if I could just get bench and deadlift in line, I'd be a lot happier. So that brings us to the last training day of the week, which again is a bench focused day. And I kind of went off script a little bit. I was supposed to do 3 sets of 4, increasing RPE from 7, 8 to 9, then a load drop, and then some touch and go bench. But what I did is I just kept it at 110 kilos or about 245 pounds or so, and was just doing on sets of 4 or 5 and really trying to work on my arch and my setup. So I'm just showing you some of the stuff I play around with, really trying to make sure I get my chest up. And it's just something that I really struggle with. And the thing is the more I struggle with setting up with a bigger arch and getting my feet in a good position and my shoulders in a good position, the worse I feel on bench. I don't know if it's just because my body's so accustomed to benching a certain way that the real muscles are weaker, or if it's just because I'm destined to suck at bench. I really don't know what the problem is. I do show you a set here shirtless. You're welcome, ladies and fellas, just to show you that I am arching, but it's just not a lot. And I'm seriously arching really hard. This hurts my back to try to push. I just feel like I can't maintain on my traps and shoulders before I set up. So once I get down, I just feel like I'm not making any progress here. And I feel like no matter what, even if I'm trying to arch, my chest is in the same position. So hopefully Brett has some good feedback for me. You guys have been giving me a lot of feedback in the comment section below. I do appreciate it. I'm trying to work on it. But again, just something that continues to be a struggle for me and my little old bench press. So that was a week in total. Started off strong, ended wrong. I'll check in with you guys next week. Hope everyone has a good weekend.